home has private rooms for seniors who need assisted living. We are a nonprofit home founded 125 years ago for women, now seeking approval for men. Our mission has always been top-notch assisted living. Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Doc Hamels, and welcome to Chautauqua Sunrise. I want to welcome all my viewers from all over the area, including Chautauqua Institution. We're hoping you're having a great summer. Weather's shaping up very nicely. I also want to say good afternoon to our listeners on WRFA 107.9 low power to the people over in Jamestown. Good afternoon. It's been a spectacular weather pattern once again. I don't know about you, but at my house, the windows and doors were all open last night, and it was great sleeping weather. You could actually use a blanket instead of worrying about having air conditioning or overhead fans going with that muggy weather a few weeks ago. But it was a really nice night, and this weather is just stupendous. And the next few days are supposed to be pretty good as well. Okay. We have a very interesting show in store for you today. So, as always, I encourage you to pull up a chair, get your coffee, tea, breakfast, whatever. I don't care. It doesn't bother me because I can't see you. And enjoy the show coming up. If you can't catch all the show, of course, we are rebroadcast 2 and 8 here on Access Chautauqua 1301. And if you are interested in talking to us live, you can give us a call this morning at 753-5225. Now, you can either have a question for me or my guest. You can have an announcement, something going on for your organization. You can Twitter us, you can Facebook us, you can email us, you can get to us one way or the other. As I always say, you can even come by the studio here in Mayville and drop off a note, and we'll be happy to get your announcements on the air for you. It's free of charge, and it's part of our mission here of sharing the good stuff here in Chautauqua County. All right. One of the things I do want to share with you is that, as always, this time of year, and most of the rest of the year, but especially this time of year, Chautauqua County's like busting with activities, just all kinds of things going on. And I have the pleasure to share with you, for those of you that are just hanging back home yet, because there's still time, I'll be returning to the Westfield's Farmers Market just down the road from 11 to 1. I'll be performing. Will is taking a vacation up into New England somewhere, and we got a call back to fill in for a band that couldn't make it, evidently. So I'll be playing solo. I'll be playing a little different venue style music, more kind of like folk, acoustic rock folk type stuff, and a little bit of Celtic music for you. So that's from 11 to 1 today. But there's the Jamestown Farmers Market. There's Mayville. There's Ripley. I think every town now has a farmers market. And these are just really cool places to head out to and get some fresh produce, locally grown good stuff. And also there's such selection of local artists and crafts and just all kinds of good stuff that you can buy here that is made right here in Chautauqua County. So besides that, there's music festivals and there's activities, golf tournaments, and we're going to talk about all that here shortly. Also want to give you a heads up that Chris Burt, our station director here, has been working feverishly as always to put together through his show Destination Chautauqua the upcoming interviews and debates for those that want to be interviewed or want to participate in a debate for the upcoming November elections. So stay tuned for that because we're going to have those for you here before you know it. And I know I've already set up some schedules to do that, so I'll be moderating that. So looking forward to that as always. Okay, let's get to our community events here, and let's start out with our folks and friends down in Jamestown at Infinity. Okay, they're wrapping things up. It seems hard to believe. I know today's the 11th, but we're getting halfway through August, which means we're getting closer to kids getting back to school. But you still have the opportunity to be part of a day camp if you're ages 6 to 12 at all skill levels, and they have one more camp. It's called World Tour Camp, and that's going to be held from August 20th to the 24th. If you're interested, give them a call at 664-0991, or you can email them. No, you can go to their website, at infinityperformingarts.org, all one word. Okay? So, another great thing that's going on with Infinity on September 8th. Let's pop that slide up. This is a really cool picture. Okay, that's this year's poster. If you've never heard of this is really cool. This is the 15th annual Local Music Showcase. All right, I'm just going to read this, okay? It's time again to fill downtown Jamestown with a night full of music, all for an excellent cause. Now in its 15th year, Infinity's annual Local Music Showcase has become a staple event in downtown each and every fall. More than 40 local musicians have volunteered to perform throughout 9 downtown Jamestown venues on Saturday the 8th, including the following locations: Brazil Craft Beer and Wine Lounge, Forte Labyrinth Press Company, Mojo's Music Bar, Shawbucks, Tarmac Cafe, the Chautauqua Club, The Pub. That's where Will and I will be playing at 7:15. The Wine Cellar. Okay. Infinity's Grants and Marketing Coordinator Stephanie Rogers has been organizing the Local Music Showcase for the past 9 years and has this to say: "This night is truly a testament to the level of support that our community has for what's going on at Infinity. It's amazing to see local businesses, musicians, and community members come together in a show of support, not just for our incredibly talented local music scene, but for the future of the vibrant art scene in Jamestown that's currently being nurtured at the Infinity Center. It takes more than 200 volunteers, and currently they're looking for a whole bunch to help out, to give out wristbands and help at the various locations. If you're interested in give them a hand, give them a call at 664-0991. To summarize it, you pay one money, you get a wristband, and you go to all those 9 locations throughout the evening. They'll give you the schedule of the musicians, and you pop in, pop out. And if you are not interested in one particular music, you can go to another one and hang out there and so on. It's a great night. And as I always say, that's an evening where a lot of us musicians get to see each other, and a lot of us are on the road or we're playing at the same time. We don't get to chat, so I always look forward to that. Okay, let's move right along. The Chautauqua County Historical Society has their annual picnic this year, and it's going to be focusing on the sweet subject, the history of local honey production and beekeeping. This is going to be held on August 15th And local beekeepers Dennis and Laura LaMonica will present pioneering efforts of honey production in Chautauqua County, and it's going to be at Panama Rocks or at 11 Rock Hill Road in Panama. The LaMonicas own and operate the Panama Bee Farm and Honey Company and bring decades of beekeeping experience to the table. They will lead a presentation focusing on the early history of beekeeping and honey production in Chautauqua County. Okay, the event will take place rain or shine, and there's no cost to attend. If you're going to attend, I encourage you to bring a dish to pass. Beverages such as water, iced tea, and coffee will also be provided free of charge. If possible and you want to do an RSVP, please do so right away at 326-2977. Okay, so that's coming up this week. Chamber of Commerce has a golf tournament. The annual Chautauqua County Chamber of Commerce golf tournament is going to be held the next day, August 16th. You can play where the pros play on the spectacular upper course at Peak and Peak. The 2018 golf tournament is sponsored by DFT Communications, Bush Industries, Community Bank, County Chautauqua Industrial Development Agency, Insurance Management Company, Jamestown Mattress, Kester Associates, Lakeshore Savings, Lawley Insurance, Lynn Development, National Fuel Gas Distribution Corporation, National Grid, Nestle, Purina, Pet Care, The Observer, The Post Journal, and the Schultz Auto Group. Big time here. A portion of the proceeds from this tournament will go toward the Thomas L. Barisi Scholarship Fund through the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation. If you're interested in participating, give them a call 366-6200 or 484-1101. Do hurry if you want to participate. Okay, the next day, hey, these kind of ran right in order. So you got something to do on the 15th, the 16th, and the 17th. The 17th, the Jamestown Cruise-In is back for the 26th year. Okay, and that's going to be held Friday, August 17th. And it's going to be held from 5 to 10 p.m. Along 3rd Street in Jamestown between Spring and Washington Streets. Okay, this is what you're going to see or do. The Jamestown Cruising combines a classic car show with live music, vendors, and fun games and events for the whole family. Music will once again be provided by the In Crowd, that's their name, the In Crowd. A variety of vendors will be on hand with food and beverages, and there will also be a hula hoop contest, a bubblegum contest, which I never participate in, and a whole lot more. Drivers are encouraged to pre-register their vehicles for easy and quick entry the day of the event. Registration is available online at chautauquachamber, all one word, .org/events. Or you can register in person at the Chamber of Office at 512 Faulkner Street in Jamestown, which is also housed in the MTI building at JCC. Vendor spaces are available and will be taken on the first-come, first-served basis. So for all that stuff, give Sherry Hutley a call at Northwest Arena at 720-1834 or Rebecca Vody at 484-1101 if you're going to participate or know more on that. Now, this is a brand new one. This just came across the email yesterday, I think it was. I didn't even know there was 3 of these prior to this. This is going to be the 4th annual lip sync battle. That's going to be held on the same day on the 17th. Okay, it's a fundraiser to support people with disabilities at the Celeron Legion, located at the corner of Fairmont and Jackson Avenues. The lip sync competition is open to anyone. Emerald, you could do that. Just get up there and sing your favorite song without actually singing. Just move your lips. People can participate as solo acts or as a group. The cost to compete is $10 per act. Performers should bring a CD of their music. Acts will be judged on how well they lip sync, the creativity of their performance, and their wow factor. It is common for patrons to tip the contestants as they perform, and the performer earning the most tip money will receive bonus points in the competition. Whoa, listen to this. The first place act will receive $300. $300 you could win. No, you're not going to do it. $125 award for second and $75 for third. The winning act also will receive a trophy. People wishing to compete must register in advance by phoning the event organizer, Marcos, at 951-6118. For those who want to attend the lip sync battle but don't wish to perform, tickets are $5, pre-sale or $10 at the door. Ooh. Presale tickets are available at the Resource Center Administrative Office at 200 Dunham Avenue in Celeron and at the offices of Filling the Gap Incorporated located in the Felice Corporate Center at 92 Fairmont Avenue in Jamestown. Money raised to the lip sync battle will be donated to the Mark Pacheco WOW, which means Working on Wonders Fund. The WOW Fund awards money to people with special needs so they can do things they may not otherwise be able to afford, such as attend a sporting event or concert. Wow, what a great, great project. Doors open at 7 o'clock and the show will start at 9. And so there you have it. Okay, let's move along. Ripley, New York. We're going to Ripley now. Ripley Library is having their annual book sale, and it's going on right this minute. Sale starts today through August 18th. The library provides the bags, as many books as you can lift for $2 a bag. Lots of selections. Don't miss it. That's a good deal. So again, if you want to get some summer reading in, that might be a great opportunity, or even for when we're not in the summer months and you just want to curl up with a good book. Okay, let's go to Mayville now. Mayville Entertainment in the Park series. The Mayville Chautauqua Community Chamber of Commerce continues its 2018 Entertainment in the Park summer concert series for the month of August. Scheduled performances are on August 16th. I told you there's a lot of stuff going on here. Barbara Jean Jazz with Rainbow the Clown. August 23rd, The Lake Effect a cappella with Rainbow the Clown. And August 30th, Come Back Patsy Cline, a tribute by Pat Cook. The concerts are provided free of charge through generous sponsorship by the town of Chautauqua and the village of Mayville. All performances are at the gazebo at Lakeside Park, located at Route 394 on the shores of Chautauqua Lake in Mayville from 6:30 to 8:30. In case of inclement weather, the concerts will be held in the Carlson Community Center, located right there at the park. For more information, give them a call at 753-3113. Now, for those of you that like to imbibe a little bit some of these events, have a listen. How to avoid a DWI. All right, this is a new one here. Would you pay $900 for a drink? Not me. How to avoid a DWI. It's going to be a program presented by Kathleen Storns, who is an impaired driver program director. It's going to be held on September 18th from 1:30 to 4:30 p.m. at the Lakewood Baptist Church at 150 Erie Street in Lakewood. Registration for $40. Most people don't think they will ever be arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol or some other drug. Unfortunately, many people don't realize they are impaired while driving. Participants will gain an understanding of the consequences of being arrested for drinking and driving. Many times, those who have been arrested say, "I wish I knew all this before it happened." During this training, we will have a discussion on standard drinks. We will cover factors that influence a person's blood alcohol levels, their tolerance, and driving, how an arrest impacts others, and alternatives to drinking, using, and driving. The New York State laws, social and emotional issues, and long-term implications will be discussed, and what a drink really costs in both the financial and social realms. Okay, and for continuing ed, I guess you can get 3 hours, and this is going to be provided by CASIC. Okay, so we're going to take a break now because that's all I have to talk about as far as announcements. Remember, if your club or organization would like us to talk about what you're doing or to share something, email us, send it to us. We'll do it. This is for you, and we're going to be right back with my guest.
I never thought I could be brave enough. I'm not trained to do that kind of stuff. But I decided to take the first step.
Is there a fire in you? Volunteer at www.fireinu.org.
Many people don't realize that at one time I was a fire commissioner. I wasn't a firefighter, but I was a fire commissioner, and it was pretty evident that we still need a lot of volunteers in our local fire department. So if you're open to the idea of being a firefighter, check out your local fire departments and see what they have to offer for you. There's lots of different jobs there, and we sure need your help. Okay, it's always lots of fun for me to interview somebody for the first time, and that's what's going to happen today. And I get to talk about an organization that I have a great love for, and that's Jamestown Community College. So from JCC, I want to welcome Linda DeJoseph, that's going to be talking about her programs today. And I'm not going to tell you what they are yet because she's going to tell us.
Well,
so good morning,
you.
Linda.
Good morning.
And welcome to Chautauqua Sunrise. And I remember that a guy named Jeff Smith, you might be familiar with him.
Yeah, I am.
He says, this is Linda DeJoseph, who I know personally. She says, she works at JCC. Hey, put your card right here. He said, why don't you give her a call or contact you? So I think that's how that happened. But that was some time ago.
It was some time ago, yes, it was. We had talked about me coming on and talking about this new program that I'm involved in at Jamestown Community College. And definitely Jeff is my spokesman and also my significant other.
Yeah.
And this is something he's much more comfortable with than I am. So
far, you're doing a great job.
Thanks.
That's how we do it here. So, Linda, tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into what we're going to talk about today. I mean, who are you and where did you come from?
Oh, I came from Jamestown. I've lived here my whole life. I grew up and went to Southwestern School, and
So
I'm
did you live in
local
Lakewood?
person. I lived in West Delicate.
Okay, that's part of it.
Yeah, right on Fairmount Avenue. Yep, and it was used to be a 2-lane road way back in the day.
Back when it was kind of easy to cross.
Yeah, it was. We had a path. We didn't even have sidewalks back in those days.
I remember.
Yeah. I'm a graduate of Jamestown Community College, very
All right.
proud alumni. And I went from there to the University of Buffalo. And I tell my students this because JCC is a wonderful way to start out whatever their journey is going to be. I have a master's degree in counseling, and I have most of my doctoral work completed for...
You're working on your PhD?
I have been for a long time. Yes, I'm one of those people
Wait
that
a minute, how
probably
long?
will-
How long?
Probably will have it done when they retire. Since 2006, I think. roughly.
That's quite a while.
Yeah.
All right.
I've taken some time off, but hopefully I'll get it done.
You have to.
Yeah.
Well, I know because I did my PhD.
You did yours, yes, you
and
did.
It's one of those. It's either you do it your way or you do it my way. Mine was just keep going no matter what happens.
Yeah.
In fact, my brother, he was very instrumental to making sure that I finished because I was ready to just take a break, and he said, "Don't you dare!
Yeah,
Don't you dare!"
I've taken a break, and now it's harder to go back. I have a love for psychology. That's my...
I minored in psychology,
Yeah,
believe it or
that's
not.
what I've been
Justin,
studying
come
my
here. I
whole
want
life.
to psychoanalyze you.
I don't psychoanalyze anybody when I'm not in my office because that's not fair to
Well,
anyone.
good for you on the PhD. Yeah, on your PhD. Well, hopefully you'll finish that up. And as I always offer, if you want somebody to read your drafts, I'll be happy to do it.
Okay, I have to take you up on that.
I've done a
because
number of them.
Most people won't offer to do that.
There's a reason. For those of you who are listening to understand this, when you do your dissertation, you have to write up this big thing, right?
Yeah.
And big thing, your dissertations. And so somebody always gets to tear it apart when you have to defend it. So I got torn apart, so it's always a good fun for me to tear up somebody else's.
Well, yeah, it's better to do it with somebody you
Let
know
me
and
help
before you
you.
sit there and...
Well,
yeah,
you'd be
have to
surprised
go
how many
through
times
that.
you're writing something and it's like it's an unfinished sentence and you don't realize that because you just keep going right by it. We're our worst editors. But with that aside, so you have your master's in counseling.
Yep.
And so how long have you been at JCC?
I was at JCC for several years in the counseling center, and I left for a couple years to work as an addiction counselor, which is very unfortunately needed in our community. And this grant opportunity came up, and I decided to go back to JCC and work for the SPRE program, which is Single Parents Reaching Education to Employment.
Well, single parent reaching
education to employment.
to employment.
Yes.
Single parent. So a man or woman, mom or dad.
Yes, mom or dad.
Okay, so tell us what it's all about then.
Our program is designed after the MOMS program, which was through the Western New York Women's Foundation, which is one of our grants. It's a program, their program was just for single mothers to support them as they come back to college or come to college for the first time. A lot of them are returning students, but a lot of them are first-time students. To address those special issues that single parents face when they try to take on college because they already have a lot on their plates. So our grants, we have two grants. We have the one through the Women's Foundation for any female student who is a single parent attending JCC. And then we have a separate grant, which many people in the community know about, the Empire State Poverty Reduction Initiative grants. We have one of those grants for 50 students in the city of Jamestown, male or female, single parent, to support them in this journey and to let them know that it's possible to come to college and it's possible to do this even though you're a single parent.
Are we talking about 3 different programs? Spree, Moms, and the
2
Empire?
grants, 1 program.
All one program?
Yep.
And what's the whole program called?
Spree.
Spree.
Yep.
So that's the umbrella.
That's our umbrella.
Single parent,
Yep.
reaching education,
To
employment.
Yep.
I couldn't read my last one. Okay, so you said something that sparked my attention, and I wrote it down. Special issues. Okay. Are there a lot of them?
There can be, yes. Childcare, of course, obviously, if you're a single parent. We have okay childcare services in Chautauqua County. I mean, there's a lot of them out there, but for our single parents to find what's available and to get on the waiting list and to do this in a timely manner before they start college can be a struggle.
Why?
Because
I'm going to drill now, because I was an educator, and childcare was an issue then.
Yeah, it always is. I think always will be.
So what's the problem?
Sometimes it's a young woman or a young father. It's very scary, I mean, for anybody to leave their children with another person.
So emotional ties.
So
there with the
emotional
child.
ties, the worry, there's a lot of things in the media that makes you feel like, oh, there's no place safe for my children to go, even if it's a licensed daycare. Sometimes it's a student who just doesn't know what's available, or they think they have childcare in place, but when we talk to them, it's like, I don't know if it's stable child care, and you always should have backup child care in case that person isn't able to care for the child or the child's sick and can't go to that daycare or whatever. So there's a lot of things we talk the parent through. Have you thought about these things? What are you going to do if this happens? Transportation is also a problem, and it can be linked to child care because you have to be able to get your child to child care. And if you're using carts or a friend or somebody, it's like, okay, well, now I have to go from here all the way over to here to drop my child off, but I have to be over here at JCC by this time, and then I have to be there to pick this child up, but then I have to go somewhere else because then I have to go to work. And so if they don't have reliable child transportation,
I just
it's
saw
hard.
somebody juggling in my mind.
It's a big juggle, and it's hard to keep all those balls in the air and not have them just fall. So one thing we're doing through our program is walking the single parent student through some scenarios. What are you going to do if these things happen? What are some of the other things that you need to think about?
So a lot of pre-planning then.
A lot of pre-planning for
Now,
a
is this
single parent.
I'm assuming this is prior to any semester or
We
at
hope.
any time?
We hope. We've been working all summer getting some of our single parents ready, and that's been a great opportunity for us. We started, both myself and Courtney Reardon, who is my achievement coach on staff, we started in March, so we've had some time to work with some of our single parents that were already students, and then over the summer to try to bring in some of the young potential single parent students and do some of this prep work and say, okay, it doesn't sound like you maybe got all the things in place that we would like to see you have in place, so let's help you. Let's get you some appointments over the summer. Let's get you, talking to some people that
So
maybe
you're
can
checking
be backup.
boxes with them.
Absolutely checking lots of boxes. So they have this challenge that your traditional or your adult older parent or a parent who has another partner or somebody don't have. They have some of these challenges. Transportation, again, can piggyback off of that with the child care issues, because we've had some young women say, oh gosh, that's a really great place, but it's going to be hard for me to navigate because how am I going to get them there? And that starts at 8 and I have class, if I have class at 9 and, I don't have transportation, or it takes me an hour to get there. So, talking all this through with them. Those are the biggest obvious challenges, and what to do, like, if you have a sick child, and, how do you talk to your instructors, and how do you, communicate with your professors? And some of this stuff is not just issues I see, because I also teach on campus with a single parent, but, traditional young students have a hard time sometimes communicating. I always tell my students I'm not scary, but I must be, because they don't want to talk to me.
How long has Spree been around?
Just since March of of this year.
Oh, so it's
Yeah,
a
we're
relatively
very,
new program.
very new
So
program.
we talked that I was going to maybe ask for some numbers. So how many single parents are we talking here that you're aware of? I mean, obviously you don't know everybody.
No, our grant for our local grants are 100 students, 50 through the Women's Foundation and 50 through Esprit. However, nationwide, there's about 4 million students who are single parents, or parenting students, and about 2 million of them are single female parents. Another probably 11% of parenting students are fathers. So nationwide, there's a lot of attention. We're talking a lot of students on campuses throughout the country who are parenting, and a lot that are single parents. And one thing I've learned from working in the Spree program is that some four-year schools are even doing housing for single parents.
Kind of get them centrally located.
Yeah, and Buff State is one that, because I'm trying to find things.
My alma mater.
Very good. Well, I applaud your alumni. The Buff State campus has a really nice housing facility for single parents, and the daycare is there.
Well,
childcare.
they've had the campus
Yeah.
school there for a million years.
Yeah,
sure, I'm
so
sure.
it's really nice, and because I try to also tell some of my students that I know want to go on to a four-year school that it's not out of the realm of possibility just because they're parenting. It's very important for these single parents to get a college education because we don't want them living at the poverty or below poverty level and raising their children. So we look at this not only as an impact for our single parents, but also an impact for another generation of children.
With 100 single parents that you're working with, is that just in Chautauqua County, or is that in all your campuses?
It's campus. We've tried to start it in the Jamestown campus, but already we have interest on the Olean campus, and of course Dunkirk is a satellite of our
All right,
campus.
so, but 100 in Chautauqua County, you're saying?
100 of students at JCC. So I wouldn't say Chautauqua County because we do have a couple.
All right,
from
all right.
our-
What I meant
from Warren.
was that they're in
Yes,
the
yes,
program
they have to
in the
just be
county.
in the college.
All right,
yes.
so let me just throw this out. What would be the possibility of collaborating with another organization and have your daycare right on campus?
We've been talking about that. Years ago, JCC did have a daycare.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't
And a lot of people still sing the praises of that daycare. It was very well organized. It was well run. It was well staffed because we have students that are education majors right on campus. So we have really good resources. It was difficult to keep open, as many daycares are, not just JCC's, but financially they're very, very difficult to run. So we have been talking to a few different people. Beth Starks, who is part of JCC family, she is also a daycare coordinator.
She's been on the show?
Good, yeah.
Yeah, I know
So
that.
she's looking out there too. Like, what could we do? How could we bring daycare back to the
Maybe even with Head Start?
possibly
Because
possibly
of your economic issues there?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So we certainly are looking at it, and a lot of my students say that. Why don't we have daycare here on campus? Because that would help with that transportation issue. It would help them with that social anxiety of, do I leave my child somewhere, and where are they, and can I see them during the day? They could pop over to wherever the campus daycare is. So we certainly are looking at that. And some of the other colleges that have moms programs or parent programs do have daycares as part of that. So we know from looking at what other programs have done that is an important piece. We just don't have it right now.
Although it may not sound like a very large number, I'm 11% fathers.
Yes.
That's higher than I would have guessed.
Yes. Yeah, I was surprised too. And I'm surprised we have about just under 30 students already enrolled in Spree. And we do have three or four single dads. And I've talked to a couple single fathers who are coming to campus in the fall. So they'll be part of our program too. For a lot of circumstances that fathers end up being single parents. It could be that they win custody of a child and they all of a sudden are primary caregiver. So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting that it's that high.
For the viewers and listeners right now, and I know this is a very hard question because there's no simple answer, but is there, in broad strokes, I don't want to say typical, but some characteristics that these young folks, I'm assuming they're young folks, all share? Is it they're just out of high school, or they're working poor, they're still living with their parents, I mean, all the above, or is there a common thread through these folks?
I would say the common thread is most of them so far are not traditional, just out of high school aged, although we do have a few. A lot of them are women, and they are probably 5 to 10 years out of high school.
Oh, okay. So they're well into their 20s.
Yep. They have been single parents for a while.
So the children could be like 4 or 5 years old by
Yep.
now.
Yep.
Okay.
We have a lot of them that are, and for one thing, what some of these young women have done is say, well, when my kids are old enough that I'm not doing, you know, the toddler care and the infant care, I'm going to go back to school. So they will talk to us and say, you know, my child starts universal pre-K in the fall, now I have this time. So it's not uncommon for us to see a big chunk of these young women are in their mid-20s, have kids that are a little bit older. Childcare actually isn't going to be that big of an issue during school hours. After school hours,
So there's no age discrimination here as far as who can be in the program?
No, we have some older parents. We have a couple women, I wouldn't say our men, but a couple women who are older than a traditional age student because of divorce, separation, widowhood.
That was one of the questions I was going to
Yeah.
Okay.
Are single parents too.
So technically, you could be someone in your mid-30s, your children could be in 5th or 6th grade, and you're a divorcee, and you say, hey, it's time for me. I want to go back to school and start a career.
Yes, yeah.
All right, so for my viewers and listeners, this is for a lot of people here. It's not just for somebody that might be like 19 years old.
No, it's
okay.
for anyone.
So I'm glad we talked about that
Yeah.
because I was sitting here going like, because we always think college is, I'm saying this just out of the top of my head here, but I would think a lot of people think college is for like 20-year-olds or 19-year-olds, but I think the average age for college is like in the high 30s or something like that. I mean, there's a lot of people who've gone back to school.
Well, especially community colleges. Community colleges are set up to accommodate an adult learner. And JCC especially has some programs that are very attractive for an adult learner. One is the new Career Advantage program, which I wanted to mention. We have talked to some of our single parents about it, and we have a couple single parents
You're
who
going to have to tell me because this is new.
are already doing Career Advantage. Yes.
All right, what is that?
It is a program designed for the adult learner where they come to campus one night a week for 7 weeks. Everything else is done online. So they're, again, if they're working full-time, if they have children, if life is happening and they still want to be a college student, they can do that. Right now we offer 3 complete degrees: business administration, early childhood education, human services. And those were chosen because they tend to be the popular degrees, especially for adults to go back to school for, especially if you're working, and business administration is a pretty general degree. Human services, early childhood ed are, again, things that are very attractive to people. So this has been a newer program designed for the adult learner. It is available on Jamestown campus and the Dunkirk campus. So it gives the adult student some other options than a traditional classroom time.
Okay, we all see the ads on TV for University of blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
or the college online from where some state out west. So how does this work? Because I think that a lot of people have a general idea, but I think they might be turned off by it because they want a human being in front of them.
Yes.
So they get to see a human being?
Yes. Yeah, one night a week they get to see a human being and get to be with their cohort, which is nice.
Cohort being the rest of the class?
Yes, the rest of their class. And it gives them, in my doctoral program, we were in a cohort, and it does give you a lot of, not just academic support, but that just motivation.
You can
to
do
stay
this.
with
We're
it.
doing it.
Yeah,
Come on,
we're
let's
doing
do it.
this together. You're not jumping out. I'm not jumping out. So it's nice. It's nice to have that. And they're a cohort of people with commonalities. You know, they're adults, they're family people, they're people with, you know, jobs, and, you know, they're like, you know, okay, we gotta do this. You know, it's only 5 more weeks, and then the rest of the time the work is online. I talk to my students about online readiness. It is not for everybody. However, JCC, we use what's called Blackboard, and it's pretty user friendly. I took my doctoral classes online, so I have something to compare it to. Especially if you do some of the work face-to-face, I think it helps you because you can get to tech support and stuff through the college if you're struggling a little bit with, you know, gosh, I can't get this to open. Is my computer set right? You know, what's my computer settings have to look like? You know, I'm at home and I really don't have good bandwidth and my computer's bogging down and maybe I should go to campus and sit and try to do this.
Another one of those challenges to the single parent.
Yeah, yeah. I love online learning. It just is not for everybody. Again, some preparation has to be done beforehand, and that's what I always talk to any of my students about that are taking online classes. But what's nice about Career Advantage is because it's 1 day a week on campus. You do have that face-to-face time with the instructors. You also, you know, can reach out and get some of those resources on campus that might help you to, you know, get through this. Online learning, I think, has gotten to be easier as far as navigating it from a tech perspective, but time management has not gotten any easier. It's a lot of time you need to dedicate to those online classes,
right,
especially if you're taking online classes from a brick and mortar college, because those classes have to be exactly like what's offered on campus. So I really talk to my students about you have to have the time to do this, and it's a huge time commitment. And if you get behind and you're struggling in a course, you don't have as much time to email your instructors back and forth to ask questions or do a phone call or a conference call or whatever they're willing to do. So that's a big conversation that I have. And for some single parents, especially those mid-20s, you know, that have been out there already juggling a lot, going online is probably not as daunting for them.
Well, and they were born and raised with technology, so it's probably not as foreign that might be for someone that might be older.
Somewhat.
But still, it's still a lot of work.
Different type of technology. It's not the
I do know
smartphone.
people that have done online courses,
Yeah.
and they said, this is not what you think it is.
Yeah.
This is like, it's real work.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just sitting there reading or just listening to some videotape. It's you're really engaged.
Yeah.
Okay. Recently, I think the government released a figure that unemployment was down to 3.9%. And yet, when I talked to Vince Horgan not so long ago, George Barella, whomever, from the county, there's unfilled positions like everywhere.
Yes.
Are these jobs are these areas some of those jobs?
Yes. One thing that when I do my career counseling with my students is we look at the high demand list from the county and say these are the jobs that are open, not being filled. These are some of the careers that you want to look at. A lot of students will come in and say, oh, I want to be a social worker, I want to be in human services, which we need them too. And obviously I'm a counselor, so it speaks to my heart. But sometimes when I'm talking to, especially single parents, they don't have a lot of time. They need to get into the workforce. I have them look at some of our MTI programs, the mechanical tech programs, because that's where the wages are. After 2 years, you're going to go out and you're going to have a job. And you're going to be able to have a job in Jamestown or in Chautauqua County. And it's going to pay well. It's going to, be a self-sustaining position where, some degrees you're going to have to go 4 years or more to school to really get a good wage.
You're postponing employment for a while.
You are. And if you can do that, it's fine. But a lot of parents can't. So those positions that are available in Chautauqua County that are open that they can't fill, a lot of them are in the manufacturing fields, and we can.
But manufacturing's dead, isn't it? That's what you always hear.
You think it is?
It's not.
But that's
it's
why
not.
That's why you really need to talk to someone. You need to come in. Our counseling center at JCC is tremendous to help students with what do I want to do when I grow up? Because I don't even know what I want to do when I grow up. And I tell my students, maybe this is a career that later on you could go into a business administration position within a manufacturing firm.
Absolutely.
But start out with, get in there.
Get a paycheck.
Yeah, and get a paycheck and get your family in a good situation. And then if you, probably even through your employer, you would have an incentive to go back to school and take those business classes or whatever. So it's very individualized what a student wants to do and what's appropriate for them. But I certainly do talk to them about what is, are you going to stay in Jamestown? You better think about what you're going to do for a living. You're not going to be, there's certain fields you have to be realistic. And that's where I think your career counselors can really help you through the counseling center. And just like when I talk to my students, and I ask them some tough questions when they tell me what they want to do. What kind of work environment are you thinking? What are your values?
Do you like get your hands dirty?
Yeah. Do you want to be home with your
Do
children?
you like to be outdoors or indoors?
Yeah. Do you want, a job that's going to be so demanding that you can't leave at 5 o'clock? Manufacturing jobs usually, unless something goes down and you get stuck there, you can leave at 5 o'clock. A lot of jobs you can't, or you have meetings, or even if you're a teacher, you have meetings in the afternoons and the evenings, and you were a teacher, there's a lot to go on. So there's a lot for anybody to think about, but I think especially single parents, because time is of the essence for them.
We're talking about MTI, which is the Manufacturing Technology Institute.
Yeah.
You may not know this. I was the very first treasurer of that organization.
Were you?
Yeah, with Todd Random and all those guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But that being aside, this is not a chauvinistic comment, but this is a reflection of maybe what people are thinking right now. So you help me with this. Manufacturing is for men only.
Doc Hamels.
No, I'm throwing that out there as a statement because because traditionally women don't think of themselves as welders, as working CNC, and I always encourage everybody to follow their heart.
Yes.
But I mean, so again, I'm trying to break down that right now. I always ask the question that I really know the answer.
I know,
to.
I'm teasing you.
I know that, but obviously women can go into the trades as well.
Absolutely, they can.
And so don't be bashful, don't be shy. Get out there and get those jobs because the jobs are available.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what we talk to all of our students about, but especially single parent and single parent women, is looking at those non-traditional, gender non-traditional jobs. And also we do have some grants and some scholarship money, I should say not grant, but scholarship money available if one of our students goes into one of the STEM programs. So,
science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Yes. And so the mechanical tech fits in that. So that's another reason why we're encouraging our students to think outside the box of human services and education. And if it's not for them, it's not for them.
But there's choices.
There's choices, and I want them to really think about it and look at the job market in a realistic way.
Okay.
Because they need to.
Let's take a breather.
Okay.
Folks, you're watching Chautauqua Sunrise. My guest is Linda DeJoseph from the SPREE program at JCC, and we have a phone call.
Oh, my goodness.
Here we go. Good morning, caller.
Well, good morning, Doc. Good morning, Linda.
Hi, good morning.
I'm good, thank you. It's great to see you on the show, and I'm especially delighted because you work in a similar field that I do. You're helping your youth improve their lives with their education and training and a better job. And I do the same thing with the older spectrum, the senior population.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you do.
And I ask the same question that you talked about. What do you want to be when you grow up?
When you're 60 years old, what should I do now?
That's it's another chapter of your life. And I've even had some of our older students on campus come to me and talk to me about that because they're thinking of retirement, coming back to school, and doing their next career.
Yeah, well, a lot of times people want to go into something completely different than what they've done. Yeah. I always thought I'd love to work in a wood factory because I love the smell of freshly cut wood.
That's exactly what I was talking about just a couple of minutes ago, is that women don't necessarily think of themselves as being part of that field.
Yep.
And that's a shame.
Oh, I love the smell of fresh wood. Oh, I just love it. Well, I wanted to announce that we do have openings. People are getting jobs. They're not only coming into our program, but they're also coming off, getting better jobs with different businesses in the area. It's a great time for people who are interested in finding employment. So we do have that, and the number at our senior, our senior services at the Chautauqua County Office for the Aging is 753-4471. We also have our computer training still going on at the Brockton Library, the Ohira Library, and also the Patterson Library. It's free computer training, and they're doing some wonderful things. And if people want to put together their own resume and know how to do it on the computer, there's instructions there for it, especially in Brockton. And I also have a special announcement regarding the Lions Club.
Dun, 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 dun.
The Lions Club is having their annual spaghetti fundraiser this coming Tuesday, which is August 14th.
Okay.
It's going to be held at the St. Mary's Hall in Mayville, next to the church. Meals will start they will start serving at 4:30. So anybody who is working in the area or in the county, they can come in right after work. Takeouts are available.
Perfect.
And it's an absolutely delicious dinner. The cost is $8 per person for adults.
$8?
$8.
I can't beat that.
Can't beat that. And for children 12 and under, it's $6.
Beautiful.
And there are prizes available. It's a lot of fun, and it's for a very good cause, the Lions Club, that does special things for the seeing and hearing impaired.
Right. Super. Linda, getting back to your computer training, Linda, do you work with any online courses or help people like that would be taking something at JCC perhaps?
We haven't really done that, but we do a lot of things with them online. We do help them apply for jobs online.
Okay.
A lot of your jobs today are online applications.
Okay.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
And we help them. We show them how to do that and to attach their resumes to their applications. We have helped them and get their go online for their Social Security account.
So a lot of things you can do online these days and have to do online.
Oh yes, everything's online, and of course computers are much easier than the old days. You don't
most days.
you don't have to add or subtract or spell.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. On my phone, it even puts words that I don't want in there. And my wife says, "What are you talking about?" Okay. Well, enjoy the rest of the beautiful weekend, Lynn.
Oh, it is beautiful.
And thanks for calling in, as always, and sharing what's going on in your world, and as well as your spaghetti dinner. And so we're happy to do that. And for other people that are watching right now or listening, that's how easy it is. You just call in and tell us what's going on, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. Have a great weekend and week.
Talk to you soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So to recap what we've been talking about is we're talking about folks that are single parents, no age limits either way. It could be someone that's a young parent, a divorced parent that has children, and you assist them in looking at how to get to JCC, get the coursework to get to employment. So far, so good.
So far, yeah.
All right, so let's go back and let's start with an individual day one. How do they even find out about your program other than watching this show?
We have been, my coworker and I, Courtney, have been out talking to agencies that we know are working with single parents so that they can make the referrals. We have reached out to all of our students who have identified as single parents by email to say, hey, we got this program, do you want to be part of it? Let us know. We have a closed Facebook group, and sometimes some of the members will find out that way by sharing information. Social media, of course, is a big way that we get the word out there, especially to the cohort and the age that we're looking at. We have our spree flyers, which you may see around town. We've been trying to leave these out anywhere and everywhere we can. And it has our contact information as well as our lovely pictures on the back.
There you are.
I'm back there. So we've really tried to get the word to whoever and anybody we can think, and dropping these off wherever single parents might be, from the post office to the pediatrics office to wherever we can think of. So most of the students, it's word of mouth, or faculty have been very good about walking students over to counseling center, admissions. So anytime anybody identifies on campus, they get walked over to our office. They knock on the door, walk in. Yep.
So they knock on your door and they've looked at your webpage, because they're going to bring that up right now. There it is.
Yeah, there's our webpage.
Okay, so maybe they've looked at your webpage and they're reading it and says, "Whoa, that's me. What do I got to do?" So what happens next?
If they look at our webpage, there is a interest form there, and we have gotten a lot of students, new students and potential students who have filled that out, and we get an email with the student's name and contact information, so we contact them right away. And we do invite all of our students to come in face-to-face just to meet us, talk to us, know where our office is, do some enrollment forms. We have to gather some data for our grants, because grants like lots of data. So we do that with a student. And then we just ask them, what can we do? Where do you see, any potential problems, any concerns you have, anything you want to talk about, or you just want to get to say hey and see our office? We have a great little office space with lots of snacks, because all students are hungry students.
Food and they will come.
And coffee for students, especially single parents, because they're all tired. So we have a little play area, so you can bring your kids. So if you don't have childcare, it's not an issue. You can come and see us over the summer, and we can have your kids can color, do whatever they want to do. So that's how we start things out. We do have some funds available for students. We have about $200 up to $250 for emergency things that come up for a student. Well, it's been interesting. The few times.
That's why I asked these questions.
Yes, it's been interesting. I mean, we some common things like gas cards. Some of our students have,
that makes some sense.
Yep, quite a commute. So we've got gas cards, and sometimes a month it's like, gosh, I had to take my gas money and spend it on something else, so I don't have gas money. We also had the opportunity to purchase and to enroll a student in the Honor Society. Honor Society is such an honor. Plus, it's connected to a lot of scholarships. And I mean, it's really important, plus you've earned it through your GPA. But it's expensive. It's about $75, up to $100 if they get the regalia and everything that they wear for graduation. Yeah. So we had a student come in and she said, "I really like to do this. I don't have the money, and it's due by such and such a date." And that was tremendous for us to be able to do that for them.
How cool.
So it was very cool. So we weren't anticipating some of the emergencies that come up. We were thinking more like, oh gosh, I blew a tire and I have to get your tire replaced, and it's $125. We thought more of that kind of stuff.
Right.
But so far it's been some other things that we hadn't anticipated. Some after hours babysitting for students that have evening classes, or if they have an online class and they want to spend some time on campus, just quiet time away from their kids. We've paid for some childcare that came up, so they had a little bit extra time, especially end of the semester last semester when they really needed that time to dedicate towards their homework and studies and getting ready for final exams and projects. So those are some of the things, but it could be anything. It could be a car repair, it could be a utility fee.
Anything that gets in the way of getting the job done, right?
Anything that you might say, I can't come back to school, or I have to quit because I'm not managing these things I just can't anticipate. Okay. And I'm surprised at how the single parents that some of them we've been working with who have been doing this without our support, they're going to be wonderful peers, because part of our program is a peer program so that they can support each other. And what some of the young women have done is really planned ahead. Use some refund checks to pay, up on their rent and different things. So.
Okay, let's hold that thought because we're just about out of time.
I see that.
All right, so Linda, why don't you tell us a phone number or contact information where you are on campus?
We are at Hallquist, the library building, 295 up by the Learning Center. And you can reach myself at 338-1430.
Okay. And got about 20 seconds. Why don't you give one more blast what SPREE is and how they can
is
help.
a new program for single parents reaching education to employment. We are located at Jamestown Community College. We are hoping to work with all of our new students in the fall, and if you're interested and you want to start working with us to come in the spring or next fall, anytime, we're there.
Okay, and if anybody's watching and you happen to know somebody that might benefit,
Yes,
Give them
please
this
pass the word
information.
on.
Watch the show. Send this show to them. So,
Yep.
Linda DeJoseph, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
part of our program today. I've learned a lot, and I hope that many of you have learned as well. And this will help somebody that's out there listening and all that good stuff. So it's a wrap for us here at Chautauqua Sunrise. We're going to do this again next Saturday morning, where we got another great show in store for you. Have a lovely weekend. Enjoy all the fun things that are going on here in Chautauqua County. And we'll see you again next week. Bye now. Well, I think we covered everything.
I think